Is Massachusetts a tax lien state? In this video, we're going to dissect one of the original colonies out there, Massachusetts. Paul Revere, John Adams, Abigail Adams, all the famous people of our beautiful country, and tax liens have got a near and dear history in Massachusetts. So in this video, you're going to see the uniqueness of Massachusetts because it's kind of a Commonwealth state, so there's a lot of things that are a little different about it. So you've got to approach this differently. By the time we're done, I'm going to walk you methodically through how you use this and how you can make money in Massachusetts. Stick around for the whole thing. Oh, by the way, stick around to the end. I got a free little gift for you, so we'll go from there. Okay, oh, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and send it to a friend of yours that is a Patriot fan because they're probably having a bad hair day right now. I don't know that. But anyways, you know, I don't know when you're watching this video. Maybe Tom Brady came back out of retirement for the third time. Who knows? So let's talk about Massachusetts. Massachusetts is unique, very similar to, New Jersey in a lot of ways. So one of the things you're going to find about tax liens and tax deeds, usually states surrounding other states kind of mimic the same thing. I want you to think about this. So you're traveling out west and you're settling, the New Mexico territory or the Arizona territory or California, and you're looking around and go, oh, we've got to incorporate these taxes here. And you look, oh, Nevada does it like this. Oregon does it like this. Everybody kind of does it. Illinois does it very similar to Indiana. There are a lot of similarities between these two states. So when you look at New Jersey and Massachusetts, there's a lot of, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, a little bit like Massachusetts in a way now I think about it. Obviously they're traveling in these areas. Then you go down south and it's completely different, similar but different. So let's talk about Massachusetts specifically. They don't do it by counties, they do it by townships in there. So the counties don't sell the tax liens, the townships do, okay? And they call them tax liens, but they're really not because they're a tax lien that has a 6-month redemption period at a 16% penalty. Yikes. Okay, sometimes they sell them in bundles. Okay, one of the few states that does that. So you can go in there and say, I'll buy all of these from the city. I've seen people go in there and they said, God, you wouldn't believe this. At the very beginning of the sale, they said, if anybody wants to buy this whole city block, we'll sell it for $10,000. And, I said, did you buy it? They go, no, we hadn't looked around. We hadn't done our research like you taught us. And I was like, oh, good for you. So a lot of interesting things. Now, I have never personally invested in Massachusetts because I can't invest everywhere in the country. It's one of those things like Louisiana. We've got videotapes on Louisiana. Louisiana is, got parishes instead of counties and stuff like that, because it was a Napoleonic state. I mean, Napoleon was almost going to be exiled there. This is how French it is in that area, the French Quarter, et cetera, et cetera. So things are set up differently, but I've always said, if you can figure this out, you'll make a lot of money. And a student of mine heard me, lived in Louisiana, figured it out, called me up, and done very well. Again, following my principles and my method in that particular area. So the same thing applies for Massachusetts. You want to look at this and say, okay, it's a tax lien that looks and smells and tastes like a tax deed. How do I mean by that? Well, if it's only got 6 months to redeem and it's a 16% penalty, that sounds like a redeemable deed state in a lot of ways. It's not by the county and it's done by the municipalities. If a property doesn't sell at the auction and then it goes into inventory and they wait about 6 months and then they offer those back up as a tax deed. You see what I'm saying on there? So there's a lot of things going on, but like any other place out there, again, you've got to get back to fundamentals. So if I were doing Massachusetts, I would look at the different jurisdictions in there. I would get and I've got all of those. What I would do is I would find those jurisdictions and I'd find out when their sales are and when their list is getting set up, okay? So when's their list getting set up? It's usually going to be or sent out, which is usually about 30 days prior to the sale. So mark that up on your calendar, figure out when that is. And here's something I haven't mentioned a lot in other videos. When you're talking to the person at the county in other places, or in this case, the township or taxing jurisdiction, somebody there is going to be your contact. What I mean by that is somebody there is going to be your person that you're going to be. I mean, it's not like there's 18 people working in this department. It's going to be one or two people. And so make a friend, as I always say, make a friend, pay a bill, and make some money, right? So you make a friend down there, and a lot of it's just getting what you want by asking the right questions. Going in there, when does the sale have? How many you have? What's left over? Who do I talk to about this? And start getting familiar with how the parcels are identified. Is there a parcel ID on this? And I'm saying this very particularly because on the East Coast, sometimes you have goofy ways of identifying the property. I don't care about addresses. This is not open house day. This is a parcel ID number, a folio number, AP number, whatever the case is, and say, how does this number represent the property? Somewhere on the assessor's map, there's a relativity between that number and the assessor's map. How are you guys matching this up? It could be even on their website where it has a imaginary parcel number and says, these numbers represent these points on the map or the zones or the district or whatever that means. Very important. That way, when you're looking up a property, you know that you're looking at the right property for that particular auction. You want to get values of all the properties. So I want to make sure that, first of all, let's start off with this. What type of property are you looking at? Is it a single family residential property? Is it vacant land, fully improved? Is it a commercial piece of property? All these are okay if that's what you know you're getting into. I'd like my new students, hopefully that's you, to stick with single family residential properties because we all know what a single family residential property is, so stick with that. Okay, where's the value? Okay, again, I'll make up some numbers. Okay, this property's neighborhood, similar properties have a fair market value of $500,000. Opening bid on this thing is, probably $15,000 to $30,000. I'm good to go on that. Okay, now I got to do some boots on the ground. What's that property going to take to get up to $500,000? Remember, they're not giving you keys and go look around. You've got to make some assessments just by looking at the property. And although that may sound scary, it's really not. Okay, if opening bid's $30,000, value's $500,000, you get a lot of play in here. I'm not doing a wholesale deal where I'm buying right at margin. I'm not doing a fix and flip where I'm working with a 15% margin on there. I got a big gap in there, so I got to go, okay, if this property is going to need a lot of work, where am I going to need it to go? Then you've got to establish exactly what your max bid is on that property. So the way I do my max bid is it makes sense right when I mention it, but I start at the value. So if it's worth $500,000, how much under that am I willing to pay for this property, knowing that I might have to do some pretty substantial rehabs on this? So I could go up to $250,000 on this property, not that I'm going to have to, and then go, okay, if I had to gut this thing for $100,000, well, I'd still have, literally, I would have $150,000 in profit on there. Think about that. So there's a lot of room in there. But if I'm looking at a property that's a little rougher in a rougher area, maybe it's a $200,000 area, I'm not going to bid half of the value. See how that works on there? So there's all sorts of different ways for you to figure out where that lien or that maximum bid amount is. Very crucial that you do that. You also need to understand how the municipality works. Remember, we're not dealing with counties in Massachusetts. You're dealing, how do you have to pay? How do you have to be registered? When will the money be due? Okay, and what I mean by how do you pay, is it ACH? Is it, you take a credit card, cash, check? When does that have to be paid? Gosh, there's so many things going on. And the good news is I've got a brand new course that shows you how to do this from A to Z. In this short video, I can't go through all of it, but I think you've got a good gist. There's a lot of money to be made here. Okay, so this is my gift to you. All you have to do is click the link down below. It's higginsmethod.com. That's higginsmethod.com. Put in your information. I'll automatically get you a link to this new course, and you can watch this and learn and make money with you and your family. This is Saen Higgins saying happy hunting, God bless, and good luck. We'll see you out there.